Remember this? Remember this that you used to put at the end of a hose so you could use it to do a wide variety of things? Or if you were like me and you were just a kid, it was just something to play with, just another yard toy to play with. My purpose in showing you that water hose tool, or that adjustment that goes at the end of the water hose, is I want you to remember something about that. Remember with that, what is that water nozzle? I was getting ready to look up what it was called. I just looked it up to find that. That water nozzle, it had many adjustments on it. You had, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to only cover 3 to make the point that I'm making. It had a variety of adjustments on there. But the 3 that stick out to me most is you had the one setting where it shot a stream that was sort of like a water gun. It came out hard, it was strong, and it shot far. You had another setting that it kind of came out basically like a shower head. It was like an in-between. It came out like what it would be in the shower. Came out, it didn't really go that far. Well, nowhere near as far as the stream would shoot, but it served a variety of purposes. Then you had that third setting where it was just like mist. It probably went no further than maybe a foot out or a foot and a half out, and it just kind of like misted. It was so you could use varying degrees of delicacy on whatever task that you were handling. And every one of the settings had a purpose. I'm likening that stream, that first one that I talked about, to how my interactions were when I was younger, before doing YouTube videos, before publishing my first book. I thought about how when I encountered a person that, had issues or a problem, something they were trying to discuss, I came out in full force and I shot it far. It didn't matter about the interaction because I was really wanting to assist them. And I kind of poured my all up off into it. And more often than not, I can't say on whether or not some of those situations were wasted because, like I stated in earlier videos, it's not up to me to make a decision for you or to influence your decision one way or the other. Long as you're able to take that we've talked about and you're able to come to your own conclusion, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But in some instances, like I've talked about in past videos, you found that it wouldn't matter on what you said up to a person. They had their mind made up on what they were going to do anyway. Then it's going to be some, and these are the people that I'm very much targeting this toward when I'm stating that I can't say that this is wasted. They might not have used it now, but maybe it could come back down the road. It could be years later, a long time after I'm gone, up out of their life, that interaction, that they come back and they can find a benefit to that. So I can't say that it was wasted. But what I can speak from is experience on how I felt from those interactions, that every time we were interacting, I'm shooting like that stream where it was long, it was, coming out in full force, and it was covering a lot of distance, but it was really concentrated. It was really exhausting. Now, I'm going to go back to talking about that tool for the end of the water hose. Anybody that knows that if you're trying to get something done and you're using that stream, let's say washing a car, that is not the setting that you want to wash your car on. You'll be out there all day. That's the reason why there's those other settings, like more likened to what you would find at a car wash, where it's more of a mist, but it comes out a lot more pressure, something more sort of like, maybe even, the water that comes out of your shower, like a shower head. So you can cover a little bit more area, but you got a little bit more pressure. You're not going to be out there all day. You can cover more surface area. Well, that was how I changed my interactions with dealing with people. With those settings that we talked about. Remember that one, the first one that came out hard, shot far? And then compared to that third setting, which was the opposite end of the spectrum, you basically, whatever you had to do, I guess you would imagine that, I'm not a gardener, so I'm just gonna try my best on seeing what maybe some of these settings are used for. That one that came out kind of a mist, maybe that was something for like somewhat watering plants that were in pots. Plants that were young, they were sproutlings. I think that's a word. Like I told you, I'm not a gardener. You would use that because you wouldn't want to put all that pressure on plants that were just beginning. If you were to shoot it out like you were doing at the car wash, you'd be spitting dirt up out everywhere. You would uproot the plants. My point is And using that gentle setting, it was something that it required care. It was something where you gently did it, and you completed your task. Even if you use that middle setting, like I stated with washing that car, I wouldn't want to be out there all day. I wouldn't want to be just shooting that first string. I'd want something that covers more surface area. And that was one of the things that I found benefited me in changing my way on how I would interact with people. Instead of me coming hard and heavy with any person that I encountered or just felt that they needed my help and it was leaving me drained and exhausted, I switched settings. I turned down the amount that Ayin was pouring out, because I couldn't do that. That is one of the reasons why I mentioned in one of my past videos where I stated I can't carry on in the same content that I'm doing in my videos with each person that I encounter. It would be impossible for me to cover the 500 something videos that I have as of this date, or close to 500, would try to pour this all off into each person that I interacted with. Nor would they want to hear that. It would be ridiculous and it would be exhausting. So what I've had to do is I've had to change that setting. I had to turn it down a notch. If you want to get watered, you got to come a little bit closer. You want to hear what I'm saying? Hey, you got to tune in. Not just to this channel. You got to tune in. You got to want to hear what I'm saying. This is the type of circle that I want. It gets back to the main thing that I've always talked about on this channel, and it's being healthy. It's being healthy. It's those sproutlings. I'm really going to have to look that word up. I think that I'm using that correctly when I'm thinking about baby plants, but, or sprouts. Maybe, I don't know what like I said, I'm not a gardener. Off track. Back to the point. When you're taking care and you're really into it and you're watering those baby plants, for lack of better words, and you have it set on that right setting and you're making sure you're giving them what they need to grow, and you're in a close vicinity. You're not standing far back. You're right there with them, and they need it. They need it. And you're going back and forth with long swiping motions to cover the area that's needed, instead of trying to put it on that jet stream. And now that I'm sitting up here thinking about with that jet stream, I don't really know what you would use that setting for, because it's not exactly like a pressure washer. I don't know. Somebody can comment in the comments on something that they perhaps use that for. I don't know, because now that I'm sitting up here thinking about it, I can't really think of anything that I used that to do other than to play as a kid, because it's just nothing that I would want to sit up and take that much time to and watering with that stream of like a water gun of doing. So I don't know what that purpose would be. And that's the purpose, that's the point of what I'm making when I'm talking about and dealing with people. Me trying to take the time out to do that with just everybody. And some of those people don't even need all that pressure. They don't need me to reach them from the distance that I'm shooting at. In other words, it could be because everything I'm talking about, I'm taking it back to me and seeing how it affects me. It could be wasting my time. It could be wasting my time. Whether they use it or not, I just don't have time for that. And there's better things that I could be doing. Perhaps focusing on what needs watering closer to me. Covering more surface area, giving it the same quality and attention, and making sure that I'm being healthy up for me. That's the point that I'm making when I'm talking about that yard tool. That was how I had to change up in my interaction so it could be a better Ayin. You want to hear what I'm saying? You want to be watered? Then you need to come closer. This is what I'm thinking about when healthy individuals are trying to find healthy individuals to deal with, or people that are trying to be healthy. So you're not wasting your time and you're not getting bogged down and getting lost in the rigmarole. Sure, everybody needs help. Even the healthy need help. Let the truth be told, we're all unhealthy. But what we're talking about on this channel, we're striving to be healthy. I've said this in past videos. You have some people who are complacent. They might not want anything else. It's not my job to make sure you move from point A to point B. That's your job. I'm not going to sit here and try to shoot this stream way across the yard to reach you, and you might not even want to be reached. I'm going to focus on what's right here in my yard. That's the point that I'm making about talking about this yard tool and my dealings up with people. Are you trying to reach who needs to be reached? Or are you overreaching and wasting your time? That's my 2 cents on it. If you hadn't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on other social media, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram. Obviously, I'm on YouTube. Check out the book that I've written, Kilimanjaro's The Arithmetic of Family Communication. I'll leave a link in the description box. All right? In the meantime, stay encouraged. Avoid being discouraged. I'm Ayin. You have a good one.